The goal today was to make an etouffee that tastes just like New Orleans. Every state has one of those iconic dishes that can feel really intimidating to replicate. As a Texan, I totally get it. Our claim on chicken fried steak in Tex-Mex cuisine is a strong one. I imagine this is how the state of Louisiana feels about their etouffee. New Orleans is one of our favorite all-time travel destinations. And a few years back, we made our way over there for a dear friend's wedding. This wedding was over the top incredible. Hands down, the best wedding I've ever been to. We spent days leading up to the wedding, drinking and eating, having a great time around the quarter. By far, one of my favorite foodie stops on that trip was a bar just right outside the square. We went for crawfish, but I left forever pining for another bite of their etouffee. Even as a professional recipe developer and food blogger, certain recipes are still very intimidating to make. I didn't grow up eating Cajun or Creole cuisine, but I really believe that if you take the time to make something special from scratch, you'll get amazing results with phenomenal flavor. So here we go. The first thing we're gonna do is chop up 3 stalks of celery. You wanna dice them up really good and small. Now we're gonna move it over to 1 yellow onion, give that a good dice as well. And on to the bell pepper. I like to cut it into strips, bring those strips together, chop them really fine. Pop into 3 cloves of garlic, mince them up. Now we're just gonna slice into a medium-sized tomato, get those seeds out, and we're gonna cut it into a medium dice. This will go in at the end of the recipe, but it's good to get that veggie prep out of the way first. Add a 1/3 cup of butter to a saucepan over medium-high heat and stir it around. Don't let it burn. Add your bell peppers, celery, and onion, stir. Then we're gonna let this cook down for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's softened. Then, before we add the flour, we're gonna have to have a little conversation about consistency. The flour to butter to liquid ratio is so important when it comes to a dish like etouffee. The etouffee of my dreams was thick and creamy, which means that you're going to add a little more flour than you typically would in your normal roux ratio. This etouffee actually smothered the crawfish and clung to the rice. That's exactly what we're gonna recreate today. Add in the flour, stir until those veggies are nice and evenly coated. Add the tomato paste, give it a stir. Another thing that was so memorable about this dish was the sauce was so silky and smooth. So that meant this etouffee had to be completely lump-free, no grit allowed. I found the best way to make a silky, smooth sauce is to add the broth just 1 big splash at a time, mixing well after each and every addition. This might be a little more time consuming, but trust me, it is totally worth it. You're gonna add a splash of Worcestershire. Don't forget the hot sauce, a couple teaspoons of that'll do. And now the Cajun seasoning, the salt, the pepper, give it a stir. Once that's all nice and evenly incorporated, you can add in your bay leaf, your chopped tomatoes, stir again, lots of stirring going on in an etouffee. Let it simmer, and this is going to allow it to thicken up just a bit. And we are adding in the crawfish tails. Give it a stir, and then you're gonna let it simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes more. We're just gonna give those flavors a second to mingle and hang out a bit. And then your NOLA-style crawfish etouffee is ready. Here we go. We are looking at creamy etouffee perfection. I am so excited to share this with my friends. Even more excited that I only managed to get 1 spill on my white sweater today. And now I'm gonna show you how you would serve up etouffee New Orleans style. Take the root off of 3 green onions and cut those onions into thin slices. Ready the ladle, folks. This really is the etouffee of my dreams. It's rich, it's creamy, and you can smell the flavor. You don't even have to taste it. As soon as I started my etouffee, I also started a pot of white rice. The timing is absolutely perfect, and the 2 will be ready at the exact same time. And I'm just gonna come in and get a nice little scoop here, plop it right on the top and then sprinkle with some of that green onion. Grab yourself a spoon and you are ready to serve. So you remember when we were at MRB's on the back patio enjoying some crawfish?
It's hazy, but I
Okay, they delivered an etouffee at the table. It was an etouffee of my dreams, and today's goal was to recreate a New Orleans authentic etouffee.
I bet it's better. It's better.
Success. Okay, today's goal was to make an etouffee that tasted as good as a batch you might get in NOLA. Will you give it a try?
Very good.
Do you think it would pass on the streets of New Orleans?
Probably so. I like it.
Okay, today's goal was to make an authentic NOLA style etouffee. Give it a taste.
Hey, my favorite.
We pass.
So good. Perfect for this chilly day.
I really feel like I brought an authentic taste of New Orleans home. And now I can make my favorite etouffee anytime. And so can you. And if you're in the market for more iconic dishes, be sure to check out our authentic Tex-Mex tacos al carbone next.